Yeah, so this webinar for most of you are people who have been in our Ylopo database, which means that you have inquired about Ylopo in the past. I think a lot of you on here have already seen a demo of our Ylopo platform. And so I'm not gonna kind of talk about what is our core Ylopo services too much, because if you want to do that, just go to ylopo.com and request a demo. And I highly encourage you guys to do that, just to learn about the entire Ylopo suite. What I want to cover today are the new things that we are doing this year that we think are game changers from a digital marketing perspective. And if you've heard webinars about me before, I rarely use the word game changer. Last year, I didn't use it once as an example. 2 years ago, I definitely did because we launched our dynamic PPC. And 3 years ago, I definitely did when we were talking about Raya. In this year, we are literally releasing 4 products that I think are game changers. And I'm going to talk about 2 of them today that really make an impact. And, three of them, but two of them that really make an impact that I think you guys will be really excited about within the Ylopo universe. And so, that's the point of this webinar, right? To show you guys what's new. Now, the reason there's new stuff is because digital marketing is always changing. It's changed so much. Like the world in digital marketing from the beginning of last year to this year has changed so much. It's almost unbelievable, And this is why I think our clients align with Ylopo, because we're all about digital marketing. That's what we do. We don't have a CRM. We don't compete in the CRM wars. We just do digital marketing. And as a result of that, we can keep on pace and then exceed pace and outpace what the industry is doing and what Google and Facebook in particular are doing to advance digital marketing, right?
Yeah, our clients are with us because every single year we have been the leaders, not the followers. Then our competitors have to follow, and take them 2 to 3 years to maybe catch up on something, and then that's 2 to 3 more years of again leading with more product releases. There's not a single business quarter that goes by that we're not working on new stuff, and that's kind of the win-win relationship. I mean, we are the outsourced digital marketing department for all of our clients and teams across North America, so they can rest easy at night where they don't have to worry about it, and they don't have to worry about doing it themselves. They rely on us to know not only will we handle it day to day, but we're also going to be on the cutting edge. And then they will be the first to have the new stuff. And this is kind of the new stuff that our current clients are going to get. And we thought it'd be kind of fun to teach you guys about the stuff that we're working on. But like I said, every business quarter, every half year, there's a whole nother set. Like as G said, change is constant in digital marketing, and change is constant in the real estate world. And we will always be on top of that, on that wave of change for our clients, so they can eat very easy at night.
Awesome. Real quick, too, before you go in, I want to add, because I literally just came off of a call with a team lead coach, where you're saying like where Ylopo is only focusing on the marketing, lead gen, and all that, not trying to be everything to everyone. What's cool is as you go through these updates, is because all of this lives in Ylopo's world is how it layers together. So it's not just the lead gen, it's not just the higher quality, then it's the AI texting, but then it's based on the behavior because it's on the Ylopo side that ties to the remarketing, that everything is working together versus trying to piece things together when CRMs, because they're not doing it themselves. And as I was breaking it down for this coach, I'm like, looking at this other lead gen they were doing, I'm like, well, that's not telling you're losing the behavior text, you're losing this, you're losing that. And they're like, oh crap, I didn't realize how that's going, because everybody was trying to be everything to everyone and not be able to offer it. They're trying to stitch it together with others. So as you're going through these updates, what I love about it is how it still ties and works with all the other stuff that have been released or improved over the years.
Yeah, 100%. So let me start here very quickly recap what Ylopo does, and then I'm going to get into new stuff, right? If you think about Ylopo, what we do is first massive lead generation. We generate close to 3 million leads a year on behalf of our clients. We can generate 50 leads for you. We can generate 1,000 leads for you. We have clients in between that spectrum, some of them even more than that, right? And so we're a very scalable digital marketing platform for new lead generation. We believe we do this better than anyone else, and I'm going to show you why in a second. Now, you may have a lot of new leads coming in, but for most of our clients, you've already generated a lot of leads, right? Some of them haven't, and we're going to build your database, but our average client brings in 2,500 leads into our system that they have generated in the past. It could be Sphere, it could be Zillow, it could be Realtor, it could be your own PPC, so on and so forth. When you bring them into the Ylopo ecosystem, we will get 20% of those consumers looking back and re-registering to become leads for you. And they re-register at a rate about $1 per lead, right? So even if I can generate you a Google or Facebook lead for $6, $7, $8, which is very cheap depending on the market you're in, that does not compare to $1 for someone who you already know in your database, right? And so remarketing is the second leg of what Ylopo does for you. The third leg is we can generate a lot of leads, we can revive a lot of leads, but what we find and what we found is that when we notify the agent, only 18% of the time did the agent do anything with the lead. That's kind of scary, right? And so we built out a sophisticated AI platform called Raya that will text automatically and qualify leads for you over text message. And guess what? Out of 100 leads, 11 of them we set appointments for, right? So, we recommend you call every lead, you do all this stuff. And by the way, we are setting up a call center. So you'll see that in a second. So we're going to potentially call leads for you anyways. But if you didn't call your leads, at least call the 11 we set appointments for you. You're going to get 1 or 2 conversions, right? And that pays for the system and more. And the final thing we do is a ton of branding. We can build you a beautiful website for 1/3 to 1/4 of the cost of the normal players in the market because we're built on top of the Squarespace platform. We have video advertisements, custom video advertisements that we call Diva. There's a bunch of features, right? So I'm not going to belabor the point. We have a 20-30 minute demo you can get really quickly from ylopo.com. If you want a deeper in-person demo of all the features, go to schedule a call with us. And the last thing to know about Ylopo is we don't have a CRM and we integrate with all the top CRM out there, right? So whether you're on Follow Boss, which is our biggest, most of our clients, Sierra, Chime, Wise Agent, Lion Desk, list goes on and on. The only 2 CRMs that we don't have great integrations with is Boomtown and Sync, and that's, a whole another story for another day. But everything else we pretty much integrate with and we have a great integration with, right?
Hey, G, can I show my screen for 1 sec?
Sure.
So I think this is kind of a cool chart too, right, G? This is almost a more simplistic way. Still a little cluttered, but a little bit more simplistic way to see it, right? So basically, we more and more are becoming a complete digital marketing solution end to end, right? And in the middle, with our hub integration technology, we will integrate with the best of breed third-party providers, especially the CRMs. But for most of our clients, we're in charge of generating all the opportunities, the lead generation, right? And we're going to go into like how we're always pushing the state of the art. We're the first to do things with Facebook and Google, in front of the competition. The lead nurture, bring them back through dynamic remarketing and listing alerts, the branded advertising, the listing rocket stuff, like everything we do to get our brand in front of the clients. And then the communication, which is we've been like leaders in the industry in the AI, digital ISA, chatbot communication. And then going forward, really help out even with human communication. And then that last piece of the puzzle, the measurement, accountability, visibility, help our clients buy all their various lead sources look at the performance for themselves as a team, a group of agents, and a solo agent, and be able to kind of, nudge them along when there's a lot of hot opportunities that are sitting there unattended. And that's this genesis of the company, because we really just started off in the lead gen side, and then we added the lead nurture side, bringing the consumers back, and then the branded advertising side, and then the digital communication. Now we're going more into even helping with human communication, because there's, not steal your thunder, G, certain types of leads which require instant human communication, and then finally that measurement, accountability, visibility piece. So I kind of like this graphically to show that we really become this end-to-end solution with no missing piece of the puzzle. So I will stop the share there.
Great.
Barry was nodding. He likes that new chart.
You're stealing my thunder, Howard.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't seen it. It's actually confidential, so I hadn't seen that one yet. So that was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
All
right. Awesome. Let me start with Google local services ads. And this is not new. This actually came out at the beginning of 2022. The reason I want to talk about it is because if you're not on Google local services ads at this point, like, you are so far behind because these are leads of people. Google basically certifies you as a Google certified agent. Someone types in top realtor in Santa Monica, and your face shows up at the very top of Google, and they click on your face and they call you, right? So it's an inbound phone call of someone who is looking for a top realtor in a location. It doesn't get better than that as a lead, right? Now, it gets even better than that on the LSA from an economics perspective, because not only are you getting a really high quality lead, but this is the only service that Google or Facebook does this for. But if you don't pick up the phone, or this lead is about a rental, you don't pay for it. Google actually gives you a refund. We refund over 50% of the leads that are phone calls coming into you. That's crazy, right? So you are legitimately paying, let's call it $50 for someone who looked at top realtor in Santa Monica and called you, right? So the economics are insane. Like, we have clients who are 20x ROI on Google LSA. Now, the problem with Google LSA is 5 things. The first is, if you want to get credits for your lead, you need to manually review every single lead yourself, right? You have to type a note into Google's app, and you have to explain why it was a bad lead. Now, not most agents don't know the right explanation and keywords to get discounts. But 2, the bigger deal is, if you're on a team, you have to give access to every team member who gets leads, right, in order for them to leave notes on your Google account, which means that they all have access to your Google account, right? So it's not really tenable for most teams. And so on the Ylopo side, we review every lead. We actually listen to it. I have a whole team in the Philippines that does that. And we get you credits for 50% plus of your leads. And just right there, us crediting 2 leads a month, you're going to see pays for the entire package of what we deliver here, right? The second thing, and this is the most important thing, is that phone calls come in random times, and they come in from random phone numbers. Google doesn't just call you from like one set number that you can save that says Google LSA. It comes from any phone number that's 61610. That's a phone number they buy from San Francisco, right? And so, LSA is unique in that Google ranks you based on reviews and all this other stuff, but also how frequently you pick up the call, right? And we're finding agents only pick up the call 52% of the time. That's really bad. Google wants you to be 85% plus, right? And so what we did is we stood up our own call center on the Ylopo side, and we will handle every single inbound call for you, right? So we're going to make sure we pick up the phone, respond to it. It's legitimate. We hot transfer it to you. If it's not a legitimate, we give you a credit right away, right? So that solves a lot of problems around LSA. I believe we're at 88% pickup rate, gets you to the gold standard, right? The third is that right now, if a phone call comes in, it's a phone call. It's not something that's in your CRM, right? So you're depending on yourself or you're depending on your team members to remember to go and enter in this lead into your CRM, right? Which, how many times does the agent really do that, right? Now, I'm not saying that your team members will be bad actors, but I've certainly heard stories of agents, and Gabe just told one a couple of days ago where, an agent accidentally said this was a sphere lead, right? And sphere leads, they get a bigger split on, and how would you know, right? So we take every single lead, we drop it into the CRM, we show it to you as Ylopo LLC as the source, so you can track every single lead. We optimize your GMB review pages, Google My Business pages, so you maximize your reviews and it looks really good because that's part of the algorithm. We do all of that work for you. If you want to see what an optimized Google My Business page looks like, type in Virginia Beach, Barry Jenkins Realtor. You'll see right-hand side, really beautiful page. That's what we do for you, right? But the biggest problem by far with Google Local Services ads is you don't get a lot of calls, right? Our average client gets about 6 or 7 calls per month, which is not a lot, right? So we have a solve for that. I'm going to explain for that in a second, but we do all of these things that I'm talking to you about including the call center for $99 a month. That's crazy, right? And the reason it's so cheap, obviously you have to be on the Ylopo platform to get this, is because we want everyone on it. We have 1,300 clients on this. We want to get all 3,000 of our clients on this. That's why we priced it so aggressively, right? Now, you cannot use Ylopo and you can do all of this yourself. That's totally fine, but you should do Google LSA no matter what, right? Now, the next level of Google LSA is solving the problem of not getting enough calls, right? This is the big problem. Now, we have learned as an industry that what leads to agents like most? They like inbound phone hot transfers. Probably obvious, but that's why people are addicted to Zillow Connect and they're addicted to Opcity, right? Because these are actual live transfers to you. Now, the problem is you have to pay a big part of your commission check, and the economics for most teams don't work out when you have to give that big chunk of money. The other thing is, if you guys are in a market that has Zillow Flex, you already know this, they give the leads to the biggest teams, so you're lucky if you even get leads. Most agents do not. So the way we solve this problem is that there are new products on Google and Facebook called click to call ads. Simply put, imagine an ad on Facebook that says new homes for sale. This home will sell in 6 days. Click here if you want to schedule a showing. They click on the ad and it actually shows a phone number that they can call into, right? Now, this is not your phone number. This phone number actually goes to the Ylopo call center, right? And the reason is because only 15% of these leads are about real estate, right? 85% of them are totally junk. They're rentals, they're property management, accidental clicks, hangups, all that kind of stuff. So we not only generate the lead for you, which by the way is under $20 cost per click lead, really, really reasonable, but we also will figure out which of those leads are good, and then we will transfer the good leads to you, right?
I want to clarify one thing you just said though. So not under $20, not click cost per click. This is a $20 per inbound call lead.
Inbound call.
Not a click. That's an inbound call. I just want to make sure everybody caught that.
Yeah, inbound call, inbound phone call, right? That's crazy.
Well,
so,
and while we're pausing there, G, last month, I think we spent about $2,000 on this specific product. And we generated 200 inbound calls and we converted 10% of them. So that was 20. And the thing we found is in our culture, if you are picking up the phone to speak with the business, you're not messaging, you're not texting or emailing, you're like, I want to talk to somebody. we're finding that those are very much bottom of funnel. They want to talk to somebody. And so with those going to, but at the same time, one of the things that the people said was, look, I called a couple businesses, but your office was the only one that answered. And that's because we had that call center always on, 20, receptionist just always on answering, who's scrubbing those calls, worked through 180 of them and got us 20 live hot transfers. And I think we already listed 6 of those. And then we have another, I don't know how many hot buyers off of it, but they're people that are like moving that need help right now. And that's the whole urgency of that inbound phone call. I'm glad this hasn't caught up yet, because I don't think any other vendor, I've listened and watched the chat. There's a bunch of different companies that are being brought up, but I don't believe anybody else has. Sorry,
this is available in Canada. Absolutely. Look, as far as I know, no one else is doing this, because you have to have the ad tech component of being able to run all of the ads, and then you also have to have the call center. So it's kind of 2 pieces of the puzzle here. If we sent all of these leads to your ISA or to you, you're going to just say, wow, these leads are junk, right? Because 85% of them are junk, and you're going to be discouraged. That's why we do this hot transfer process, right?
Can you clarify on that, G? I just want to make sure, because I saw a couple questions. I want to make sure. Ylopo LSA, if it's not real estate related or anything like that, Ylopo is going in, challenging those, refunding them back. On this, the inbound Facebook click to call ads, the call center, it's almost like any type of lead gen. You're going to get good and bad, but and you're paying for everyone that comes in, but the call center is filtering out the crap, so you don't have to actually spend the time on it. Yep. Live transferring who actually wants to talk real estate to an agent that's viable, and that's what that cost is that you're referencing, right? I just want some clarification. Exactly. There's some confusion.
Exactly. Yeah, and if you're a Ylopo client already and you want to try this out, this is in beta. We're only going to have 100 clients test this, and then we're going to release it far and wide in June. So if you want this, you need to be a Ylopo client now. If you are interested and you're a Ylopo client now, just email me at ge@ylopo.com. I'll connect you to the right person to get you set up on this. Okay.
And somebody is commenting on Facebook leads. You want to listen to the rest of this webinar, what he's going to be talking about lead gen, because it's going to speak directly to some of your experiences and how we fixed, leveled up based on new tech. Sorry, I just want to make sure we keep everybody engaged. And guys,
you'd be surprised. I'm as surprised as you, because everyone says Facebook leads don't, convert very quickly and blah, blah, blah. But we're running most of these as Facebook leads and they're converting, So I think it's a difference of, if you're on Facebook and you call to go and set up an appointment or talk to a realtor, your intentionality is just much higher, right? And so don't think this doesn't work for Facebook. That's where we're seeing the majority of the traction right now. For all of our Canadian friends out there, we have 8% of our clients in Canada. We really care about our Canadian clients. Google doesn't care about you guys as much. I'm sorry. So Google LSA is not available in Canada. Certain features are not available in Canada. But for us, we have been really focused on Canada. So first off, all the click to call stuff that you saw, all of the dynamic registration stuff you're going to see in a second, all available in Canada. And we have also found a source that allows us to license data from Canada to target people who are homeowners, renters, household size, likely to move, employment status, luxury, all of the different things that we get to target in the US, right? So our Canadian marketing, I think, is the best in the industry, because we actually went out and we hunted all this data down that we can use for targeting, right? So, on the Google side and the Facebook side, a lot of new developments. I won't get into it. Just know that my whole team is always on the cutting edge. As an example, for instance, Google has something called image ads now. If you're running your own Google campaigns, you should check out if you have this feature enabled as a beta. What it does is it allows you to put your own face at the very top of Google when someone looks for new homes for sale, Northport, Florida. Right? And that is great branding for you, but we actually found the click-through rate doubles from 6% to 12%. That's nuts, right? Because you're building trust with the consumer. You know, that's just one of the many examples of what we're working on. Right now, we have spent millions of dollars upgrading our home search experience to what we call Home Search 2.0. I won't spend too much time on this. Just know that you're getting the best in the business, and we are consistently improving it. There's like 10 engineers that just work on this full time, and we've got a ton of new stuff coming for our home search experience. So the next thing I want to talk about, and this is our big release for this quarter, right, is something we call dynamic registration. Now, let me explain it to you. So let's say you see a Google ad for homes for sale in Northport, Florida, right? You click on that ad, and what traditionally happens is you land on a home search experience, you view a listing, registration pop-up comes up and asks you for your contact information, right? What is your phone number? What is your name? What is your email address? Maybe we ask you a question or two that are optional, but that's it, right? And this is what every one of the IDX website lead generation providers out there do, right? They, ask for their contact information. Now, we thought this hasn't changed for over a decade, guys. We did this at TigerLead, right? And we thought, wait a minute, couldn't there be a better way to generate the lead once they hit our website? Because the message you're sending to the consumer is a pretty negative one, right? You're telling them, hey, come to my home search website, and now I'm going to block you from seeing content until you give me your contact information. I'm basically holding you hostage, right? So what we said instead is, let's ask the consumer questions that leads them deeper into our home search experience, customizes their journey with the realtor, right? Before we even ask for their contact information. And so you come on our site, registration pop-up will come up at some point. We ask you, what location are you searching for? Do you need to buy or sell? The dynamic nature of the form is, if you say you're selling, we ask you questions about selling. What type of home are you selling? When was it built? Is the size of the home? We ask right now 12 questions of the consumer, right? 12 unique data points from the consumer, right? So they say, no, I don't need to buy, I don't need to sell. We ask them buyer questions. You prefer price range? What's your bedroom bath? When should this home have been built? Have you been pre-qualified? Again, no matter what, we're asking 12 questions. So just right there, if you used to get a lead with 3 fields, name, email address, and phone number, and now you get a lead with 12 fields, the lead is going to be higher quality, right? Not only is it higher quality, and Barry and Gabe, please chime in on here, but you have more information to talk to the consumer about, right? Because you know exactly what they're looking for, and you can route them based on all of that information. So any comments on this, guys?
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen for just a quick sec. Gee, I just want to show something. So it has been incredible, right? Information is key in this process. And when we started testing this a while back, we were all on a call, and I'm like, wait, we're going to ask more questions. We're going to have more clicks. We're going to, like, it was like, I don't know, it's going to be crazy. Yeah, the quality will probably go up, but my lead flow is going to go down. My cost is going to go up, and I don't want to scare off people. And so pleasantly surprised as we've been testing this in different markets, what we're seeing. And then I just wanted to pull up last 30 days, we've received about 300 leads, but this is PPC, right? I've been doing this for years. We convert hundreds and hundreds of these year after year. And what I want to show you is just the qualified buyers in just the last 30 days. You'll notice the creation date. A's for us are 30 days or less. B's are 1 to 6 months. C's are 6 months over. But we have 34 of these types of leads that you're talking about from AdWords. Look at the stages that they're in. A's, 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 B's, 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 A's, A's, A's. There's some appointments set in here. These are just less than 30 days old. So what, 11, 12% conversion to an ABC. And I know that's only going up because I've only had 30 days to work these, right? So there's still more that we haven't talked to. Yes, there were some that came in with wrong numbers and all that. but the quality for us has gone up. Our lenders, I don't know if you were on the call with somebody else, but lenders are like, how do we get more of these? We want more like this, the information coming in. It's been incredible to see a higher quality lead. And for us in both markets, the cost has dropped. So we've been blown away.
Gabe, when did you add the column back that shows the value of the home? I thought you took that off so that your agents didn't know, because that was impressive, seeing all those high dollar homes.
I didn't even, you know what? I didn't even look at it. So I have it on some of my lists. So that's just my general list. I don't have that in my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 list, but I do have it just kind of tracking what's coming in. But yeah, we've, yeah.
Well, that was just a side note, but for those of you listening, you know, COVID changed a lot about the way the consumer interacts with products and marketing, the way they view media. And when you're dealing with a one-size-fits-all company, they don't have the ability to pivot quickly as the consumer changes. Now, the consumer, I don't think, changes as quickly as it normally has with COVID. I think COVID kind of like turned the world upside down for a little while. And the result of that, consumers value different things. Now, I'm bringing that up because what I've been fascinated about as a 23-year veteran in the industry is that these forms literally adapt the same way that you and I, as a salesperson, we don't start off when we call a lead and say, hi, do you have a home to sell? Like, we don't do that, right? And if we do, it doesn't work, which is why we don't do it. We adapt, right? We try to surface information and try to go the direction of the consumer while lifting as much as we can to try to get a sale in. That's what these forms do. And I know from my experience, and I'm sure, G, you'll speak to lead costs and stuff like that, I was used to getting name, email, and phone number and paying on Google, I don't know, $16 a lead. There's been a season before Christmas where I was getting 13 questions answered that were relevant to the consumer, adapting to the conversation, and we were down to like $8 or $9 a lead. And it varies based on market, but what that tells you is more people are filling out these forms because they're in touch with what the consumer wants to talk about. When you're dealing with people that have a home to sell, this is everything, because we're actually lifting someone that isn't even wanting to talk about selling their home. They want to talk about shopping, which we've all experienced, and we're able to surface that opportunity and get a home address at scale. So let me just be clear, as someone who's been partially involved with this project, there is nothing anywhere like this available by any company so far. Nobody else is doing this. And so you can talk about leads and Google and Facebook. No one's funnel is adapting to the consumer in real time like this. It's revolutionary. It really is.
Yeah.
Sorry, G.
Totally. I mean, I'll show you guys the conversion rates in a second. It's really hard to believe.
Before you leave this, G, can I show one more thing? Sorry. I'm excited because I forgot. And this was going back to what I was talking about earlier. So not only is this a new feature, but remember earlier is we're making sure that everything is tying to other great releases that we have. So I want to show you that exact same list really fast. So it's the same 34 qualified ABC or appointment set. I mean, there are a few in here, but this is what's really cool. I was talking about tying it to other things. So I'm going to come in here and find out how many of these not only did we get all the dynamic information, but how many of these did Raya set up the conversation for? 21 of the 34, Raya is the one on top of it that engaged them, that got it going, that teed it up for the agent to take over. So I just want to talk about the power when you have a company not only doing the lead generation, but part of the lead nurturing and lead conversion, it all ties together. So it wasn't even a higher quality lead at a lower price. 21 of the 34 were engaged and teed up by the AI, right?
100%. Yeah, exactly right. That's awesome. Yeah, it's all tied into the rest of our technology stack, which is what's so great about this. And you know, this is still in beta, but anyone who signs up with Ylopo today, you're set up at Dynamic Reg, you know, so this is available right now. And we're seeing, as Barry and Gabe said, higher quality, lower cost. That's the best, right? Now, what's even better is that these forms can be customized. Now, we're only doing this for larger clients now. We'll eventually, you know, do this for smaller clients, but you know, if you have a unique offer, like you're a part of Keller and you have Keller offers for instant offers, imagine someone they needs to says, I need to sell before you buy. And the next screen says, okay, fantastic. Would you like an instant offer from Keller offers? Or if they say, no, I'm not pre-approved. Would you like to save $3,000 with 0+? You know, so whatever offer you have, your lenders are going to freaking love this, right? Because most of these people are not pre-qualified. Now you actually know, and they can go and talk to those people, right? The other thing is we are generating sellers from your buyers, right? Now, everyone says that. In buyers, there's a lot of seller leads. You've been trained on it forever. Everyone's been talking about this, but who has come up with a dynamic registration when someone says they need to sell before they buy? And we actually get the home address of the property and set them up as a seller lead, right? Right now, I'm just jumping ahead a second. We asked the question, do you need to sell before you buy? 22% of leads say they need to sell before they buy. And we get all of their home addresses, right? So, you know, right there, you out of 5 leads you get, one of them is actually going to be a seller lead. So generating a seller lead on Google is very expensive because you're competing against Open Door, you know, all of these guys, OfferPad, et cetera, that are spending more money than you have generating home valuation type leads, right? Buyer leads are much cheaper, right? So buyer lead might be $6 or $8. So 1 out of 5 out of a $6 lead means that you get a seller lead for $30 and you get 4 more buyer leads, right? So the economics are tremendous. This is why we're so excited about dynamic registration. It really checks all of the boxes, right?
Gee, I think that number is higher. So I think that's being based off the ones that are answering that yes, right, and providing. Yeah. We're noticing that a good chunk of our buyers right now are holding onto their homes for rentals and things like that. They're wanting to keep them. So a lot of those checked no as in having a home to sell. So I think it's actually higher and you're still capturing these people and their future sellers. So I think that number is probably more like 1 in 4 versus 1 in 5.
Yeah, it's probably true. I mean, the distinction with us is someone can say, yes, they need to sell before they buy. But if you don't get their home address, then the rest of our automation doesn't kick in. You can't do a CMA, all that kind of stuff, right? So The fact that we get the home address, and Gabe's totally right. If you're on top of your leads, the last stat I saw, only 35% of homeowners are first-time homeowners. That's not a good thing for America, but that means that most of your buyer leads are people who own homes, right? So, but for 22% of them, we're actually getting your home address, right? So inside your CRM, you're getting this massive note that tells you, here's your purchase timeline. Are they working with an agent? What's their minimum maximum price? Bedroom, bath, their pre-approval status, square footage requirement, on and on and on. You get all of this data directly in your CRM attached to every single lead, right? Now, let's talk about conversion rate. One would think if you ask 3 questions and then you ask 12 questions, that 12 questions would have a higher or have a lower conversion rate. That is, as a marketer, my intuition, right? I've learned a long time ago, 50% of the time, marketing intuition is wrong. And in this case, I was really wrong because if you look at the conversion rates here on our dynamic registration, we are getting up to 15% conversion rate on our leads, on our clicks, right? That means our aggregate cost per lead has dropped down to $6.77, guys. That is ridiculous when you're asking 12 questions of the consumer, right? So we're generating a higher quality lead at a lower cost, an insane registration rate. This is why this is such an important release for us. And I think we're by the end of February, early March, every single one of our clients are going to be on Dynamic Reg. If you want to be on Dynamic Reg earlier, just email marketing@ylopo.com if you're a Ylopo client. And if you're not a Ylopo client and you're doing PPC or you want to do PPC, I just ask you, give us a chance 90 days to run side by side against what you're doing, whether you're doing on your own or you do another platform. Let us prove out to you the results, right? So, we're perfectly willing to do a bake-off, and we are very confident we're going to win at this point. So,
and those numbers, right? 15%, 17%. Those are phenomenal conversion numbers, which goes back to my point. This is working better, even though we're asking for way more stuff. Because it's working better, more people are completing it. And because they value that experience, they feel understood, they feel heard, it has a concierge vibe to it, the likelihood of them, after investing that time and thinking about the answers to those questions, the likelihood of them talking to us after goes up. That's why the conversion rate has gone up more of leads to appointment and leads to Raya converting the appointments, as Gabe has showed in his CRM. That's all why this is happening, because it's just a more effective way of going about it.
Yeah, and for all the lenders out there that's asking if we have a product for lenders, we're actually going really big into the mortgage space later this year. If you email me, ge@ylopo.com, I will set you up with my product manager managing mortgage, and they can get started with you on our beta. So anyone who's mortgage client want to generate mortgage leads in the same way and in technology that we generate for real estate leads, just email me, ge@ylopo.com, and I will hook you up with my product manager in charge of mortgage. So, Gabe and Barry are going to show you guys 2 additional new tools that we have built out for all clients. But before that, I just want to say, for any current and prospective Ylopo clients, we have our Ylopo Summit, in-person summit, April 5th through the 7th. You are going to learn so much at this conference. We're going to be releasing new stuff. You're going to learn how to use your old stuff. Ylopo is a lot of stuff, right? A lot of pieces together, working together, because digital marketing changes every year. So we have to keep up digital marketing. And we hear from clients all the time, like, I can't keep up. I've got too much going on. How do I utilize the Ylopo system to the best of my abilities? That's what we're going to teach you when you come live, right? So just go to Ylopo/summit, and you can sign up for our summit. And I just highly encourage all of you guys to attend, because it's going to set you off on the right path. And for all of you who are considering Ylopo, hey, it's already almost February. By the time you go live, perfect time to get a deep dive into Ylopo by coming to the summit.
Yeah, well said, well said. One thing that we do want to mention and make very clear is that the dynamic product, it's not just on Google PPC, right? It's also on Facebook. Is that right?
It's also on Facebook. Exactly. We're doing it for both. Yep.
Yeah. And so the funnels adapt regardless of Google, regardless of Facebook. They still are gonna work. Well, I'm happy to share my screen. So Ylopo was really a leader in many respects, but one of those is they've hired top performing users. So myself, Gabe are examples of that. We both run very successful real estate teams. We both work in the technology space. They hired us, and they really do a good job of making us feel important and bringing us in all these like upper level executive meetings where they say, hey, what do the Ylopo users need? What do you guys think about this and this direction? And they allow us to speak to product because we're in the trenches. And so the 2 tools we're going to share, Gabe, I'll have you share the second one. I'll share this first one. You speak to whatever you want, just like we did on the other one. But these 2 tools represent pet projects for Gabe and I, things that were really important to us. One of those is impressing homeowners, right? You get them on the phone, you want to talk to them, and we want to impress them. And what I mean by that is you get a homeowner on the phone, you say, hey, I can sell your house. And we say a common phrase, I have buyers looking for a home like yours. And so one of the things that Ylopo does a great job of that I think we don't talk about enough is Ylopo can keep your leads on your website. Meaning when they look for houses, they use yours like a fundamental underpinning of my entire business. And we sell 800 to 900 homes a year. And we have that website activity, leveraging that to a homeowner, saying, hey, I've got people looking, right? Well, we wanted to create something visual so that our users could share what we have going on. And the result is a form that you can create in real time. It only takes a second. And you put in an address, you put in any specifics about the property, and it scans. In this case, I have a follow-up off CRM. It'll scan whatever CRM you have, and it's going to analyze the leads in your database, their website activity. Now, I have a problem when I do this. I have 150,000-ish people in my CRM. And so when I put in this address, I pull up that I have 1,100 people shopping for a home like this particular homeowner's. That's really not believable. It's the truth, but it's not believable. And I'm speaking to that because you might say, well, Barry, you have 150. I have 2,000. Mine's not going to look like that. To be candid with you, I think, if you put in 2,000 and you scan your CRM with this tool, and Ylopo is reviving all these people, and if you have 7, I personally think that's more believable. I think I have a greater challenge in proving to the consumer that I actually have 1,100 than you do that you have 7. But what I want you to see is this is actually a real map. Okay, so this is Google Maps, and this is a real heat map showing where the leads in my CRM are actively shopping. So I get to say to this homeowner, hey, I not only have a list of names, but I want to show you visually what I have going on in my system right now. If you give me the honor of selling your house or listing your house for sale, I'm going to tell these 1,100 people all about your house. I'm going to email them. I'm going to text them because I have TCPA compliance covered. They're using my website. They've registered. I can mass text all of them and not worry about anything. And I can call all of them and tell them about your house. And we, on our team, we call it circle prospecting 2.0. Because old school circle prospecting is you have a listing and you do a circle around the house and you notify all those listings. Well, this is 2.0 because now I do the area and I'm scanning my database. These are the examples of the leads in my system. It's real data. And this is a unique video product that Ylopo has. It's called Diva, Dynamic Video. They create a custom video for my listing. It's $65 to run the ad for a month. Then they provide detailed analytics of what the consumers are doing with the video, if they're clicking on our website, if they're looking at more pictures, the result of that. The last piece of this form is everybody says, I'm going to put your home on Facebook. And you know what? 10 years ago, that was cool. You could put your home on Facebook and a lot of people would see it. It doesn't work that way anymore. You got to spend money. And so what we're doing here is we're setting ourselves apart by saying, look, everybody else is saying they're going to put their home on Facebook. They're going to reach 200 people. I, however, have hired a best-in-class digital marketing firm. I think it actually says it here. And this is Ylopo, but it doesn't say Ylopo. I've hired a marketing firm to market your home, and they've scanned the Facebook API, and they found over 200,000 people in a radius around your home that are likely to move first-time home buyers and recently browse for a home for sale. And then the last piece is a summary, again, hard to believe, of all the good stuff that I've got going on by leveraging Ylopo. Ylopo is running lead gen for me. 250,000 people have seen my ads. Over 100,000 people are shopping for a home on my website. I have 2,100 people actively shopping today for a home, and I'm spending thousands of dollars to market my listings currently. You go over this form with a potential homeowner, not only is it like, wow, okay, this person really has it going on, but marketing is all about setting yourself apart. And that's what that buyer heat map does. This is included in your Ylopo subscription. If you go to your branded website, those of you that have Ylopo, after the .com, so my website is buyingva.com, you just do / and the word is heat map. You don't have to have any special rights or admin privileges. You just go to your branded website / heat map, and it'll load a tool. You put in the address and the specifics about the home, and then the system literally scans your CRM. And so you can see in Gabe's right now, he's typing the word heat map at the end of his Ylopo website, and it loads a tool. You punch in the information right there, and then it provides you with a report. And this report is, and it's okay, you do not have to have as good a headshot as Gabe for this to work really well. You know, anyway, big idea. This crushes. We don't lose when we go on listing appointments anymore, even in this competitive market. Gabe, do you want to go over, like, or speak to the heat map or go over the other item that we
yeah. So I'll make it really fast. I want to make sure we have time for G to do a recap because there are a few questions. Just I want to make sure everybody knows what's available in Canada, what's not, etc. But yeah, and just again, using that tool allows you to really stand out. My favorite script using that before I actually show it is just asking the sellers, you know, hey, Mr. Miss Seller, you know, I'm sure you're interviewing other agents to sell your home. Is that accurate? And a lot of times they are. Yeah, perfect. And have they shown you a list of their active and hot buyers and their actual marketing reach? And you just stop talking and they're like, the what, the who? And of course they say no. And then it's golden, right? You're getting more signed right then and there. I want to jump into another tool that's included. This is not extra, but I think it's underutilized and it's something Barry, you and I worked on to improve. And it's very similar. You're going to start with your branded site URL. So again, this is available to everybody, but this is the open house tool. All right. People doing open houses, it's a great opportunity, not only to help sell the home, make your sellers happy because they see you doing something, but to pick up more buyers. And again, as G was talking about, a lot of those buyers also have homes to sell. So go to your branded site, the same exact one that you use for the heat map, but instead of typing in heat map, we're going to type in open-house. And again, this is your branded site, not your search site. And any of your users can do this and then just hit enter. It's going to take you to a very similar form. All right. So what this is going to allow us to do is create a really cool form about this open house. You're going to take the MLS number of the home that you're doing the open house on. Whatever agent is going to do it. That's literally the only two items that you need. And you're going to hit create open house. Now, the updates that's been made to this, if you've seen this, is before it didn't have a QR code. It just had a sign-in form, right? Which you can still get to. But what's great about this is it's automatically creating a QR code. Now, you can have this on a laptop, on your iPad, just literally propped open right when people are walking in. So you can get them to sign in. Now, what's great is they don't need to touch your device. You don't need Wi-Fi. You can do this ahead of time. They can literally just scan this with their phone. And when they scan it, what's amazing is the leads being captured. They're being sent the full detail information of this listing on your website. They're also being set up automatically on a dynamic search for homes around there, right? Now, again, you know, I've seen agents still, we went to some open houses a couple weekends ago here, checking out some properties, still had like manual piece of paper, pen, sign in. First of all, just ooh, right? It's 2022 now. Secondly, now it's relying on that agent to go input it. They're not getting anything right away. When they sign in on their mobile device, they're getting captured. They're sent to your CRM. They're getting the listing. They're getting listing alerts. They're pixeled. They're getting followed around, and they're not touching anything, right? They're just, it's right there in the home. Our script for this, I love using scripting. If we see anybody walking out, my first thing is, hey guys, welcome to, what is this? Tiger Lily. Are one of you the agent, or are you guys with your agent by chance? If they're with their agent, obviously I'm not going to intrude on that. I just asked for the card. Most of them are not with their agent. And what I do is like, oh, perfect. Well, hey, welcome. The sellers asked that we keep track of everybody that's come through. And, you know, I'm not able to put all of the homes on the, or all the pictures on the flyer. So in addition to just signing, if you'll scan this real quick with your phone, it'll send you all the information, all the photos, the link to the virtual tour, all the details and you'll have it, and then I let them in. They almost never say no. Right. What we're also doing is we're taking it one step further as we take this code and we're also just throwing it right on our flyer. Right. So that way, if the battery dies on this or whatever, or I want to just have flyers versus having a machine out, I can now take that same code, throw it right on my flyer. And when they scan it, it's going to the exact same place. All right. And I want to show you real quick. What happens is as soon as they scan it, like I said, it pushes them to the CRM. It logs the source as Open House Ylopo. It shows you the inquiry of the home that they came on. And like I mentioned, it's throwing them on a dynamic search, starting to send them properties that are similar to that. So everything is automated and you've captured it moving forward. So just the addition of that QR code has been incredible because it's allowing people to not have to, like I said, have Wi-Fi, have access, all of that. And it's getting people in our CRM faster. And as they're driving away, going around, now in their inbox, they've got your information and you've got them wherever they go. So huge improvement on that tool. And again, it's included for everyone.
Yeah, and Gabe, that was a great summary. And you can also, I think you said this, but you can print that if you want to. You can print that screen and just have a QR code and they can register. And I know for my agents, look, when I used to do open houses, I would only do them because my seller wanted me to. You think about an open house, like I would buy a cheese tray, and it got to the point where, you've got 2 minutes to be interesting. Yeah, you got 2 minutes to be interesting, to be informative, to be engaging, to capture them as a client. It got to the point I gave up. I was just like, I'm just going to sit here and eat the cheese. Like I don't even want to try anymore. And it could be my market. Maybe, I don't know. But at the end of the day, this open house tool, what it does is I just get to go like, hey, the seller asked you to register. Please fill out your information. I get to go sit back down and eat my cheese, right? And then the system then adds these people to my CRM, to Facebook ads and listing alerts. And now instead of my agent calling me and saying, hey, the webinar stunk, I had 4 people register, 2 were looky-loos, 2 had agents, whatever. Now it's like, hey, I had 4 people added to my CRM today. 2 of them actually just saved a home on my website, and Raya's trying to reach out. It changes a lot about your setup. I mean, legitimately. It's not just a quick form. It's an access to an entire ecosystem. Yep. Sorry.
100%. And what was funny, sorry, one last thing, and I'll shut up, G, so you can wrap everything up. One of my newer agents, he's only a few months in. He also went to a couple open houses just because there's limited inventory here in Denver and it happened to be open while he was showing it. He's like, there are 10, 15 people in there. And there was like, no sign, he didn't understand that people don't have a tool like that. That's all he's known because he's a newer agent. He's like, wait a second, how? So it was just really interesting him realizing, wow, most agents don't have a tool like this. So it's very cool. So yeah. G, I would love a recap. There were a few questions. What's available now? What's available in Canada and what's not? Maybe just a quick recap for everybody because we covered a lot of stuff.
Totally. Google LSA is only available in the US. It's available as a product today that you can all sign up for. If you haven't set it up, we will set it up for you. If you've set it up, we will manage it for you, right? You have to be a Ylopo client to access Google LSA. You have to be a Ylopo client to access all of this stuff, right? If you are interested in a demo, you can just go to ylopo.com and click request demo. And that's the fastest way. Like someone will call you right away, they'll set up a demo, show you the entire suite, right? What's available in Canada is everything else we showed you. So dynamic registration is the biggest one. Like I get Canadian clients, number one request is, how do I generate seller leads? Well, guess what? 22% of all the buyer leads we generate in Canada are also sellers, and we get their home address, right? Those are your seller leads. So Canadian clients get dynamic registration, and along with dynamic registration, they get seller leads for the first time. I don't know anyone else generating sellers in Canada. So that's a huge, huge deal, right? And by the way, dynamic registration, we don't charge you more money for. Like we could, because it was really expensive for us to build, but it was just such a big improvement. We were like, we got to give this to all of our clients, right? So you get all of that increased conversion, increased lead quality with the Ylopo platform for free. The click that's available right now. The open house app that you saw available right now, the heat map you saw available right now, the only thing that is not available today, but if you email me and you're a Ylopo client, I was answering like 50 emails just now, I will get you on the beta, right? So just email me, ge@ylopo.com. For the rest of you who are not Ylopo clients and want to try that out, you can too. Just sign up for Ylopo and tell your onboarding specialist, I want to be on the click to call beta, or tell your salesperson, and they will shoot my product manager an email and we will get you all set up, right? So, what's nice about it is we're not charging you fees yet for click to call. We are, because it's really, really powerful. And we're spending a lot of time building it. And also we have to pay for our call center, right? So we will charge for it, but right now we're not. So it's a perfect time to get in on it, test it out, see what the value is. I think it's like basically getting a Zillow Flex or Zillow Connect lead for half the price, quarter of the price. That's the way I think about it, right?
Oh, absolutely. Click to call goes to the call center, right, G?
It goes to the call center. We scrub out 85% of the BS and we give you the 15% of the gold that are hot transferable.
Ylopo has a history of doing things that have never been done, true innovation. And the items that we've just gone over are once again proving why we built that it's our reputation. We've done it again. And I personally am benefiting on a business level, Gabe. I know you are. And so hopefully folks that don't know about this product, they catch on quick, because it's a game changer. I was able to finally stop buying those really expensive Zillow and Realtor.com leads. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. Sorry if I'm not, but I was finally able to stop that ridiculous spend and spend in a way that makes sense for my business. So very much life-changing.
Yeah, I agreed. It's just been constant innovation, which has been incredible. So I know we're getting over here, so I'll wrap up and let G and Howard go. But
the only other wrinkle, I've been lurking in the background the whole time. The only other wrinkle too is, besides the fact that these are down funnel, basically we're on the cutting edge of the click to call, so we're still doing massive testing. But this is, yes, going to create an alternative, because when you buy those Realtor.com and Zillow leads, you're really still paying them to support their own brand, because they're still advertising Zillow and they're advertising Realtor.com. We're talking about bringing those down funnel, raising their hand. I want to go see homes. I want to go list my home, super more appointment than lead type leads, but it's all based on your brand. The consumers don't see Ylopo. It's all about advertising Barry's team and Gabe's team and your team. And that's why we're not this other company that you're in this tug of war with. We're your company. We're your partner. We're your outsourced digital marketing department. That's a big, I think, big difference. And so if we can create a win-win-win where it's less expensive and you don't have to worry about paying, forever referral fees on that customer, and it's all about your brand, it's a win-win-win.
Yep. Some of the people are asking about how to contact to enroll. Do you just want me to give you your cell phone number, G?
We're doing Howard's cell phone.
Oh, I thought it was
funny.
Gabe's. I thought it was actually Gabe's actual address, physical address.
Yeah. I am getting blown up, guys. It's so funny. I've gotten like 60 emails. And a lot of current clients on this webinar, which is great, because we love educating you guys.
How about those pre-qual mortgage leads that are coming out next year? Oops.
Oh, I got some lenders. Hey, lenders.
You're lenders.
You want in on that? You email me too. You email me too. Yeah,
Since Howard brought it up, can I just quote my lender? His direct quote: "How the hell do I get more of these Ylopo mortgage leads?"
Got to know someone.
Well, to me, you're asking all these questions, and with a mortgage lead, it's not just like, what do you want your view to be, or how big do you want your house to be? It's like, what's your credit score, and how much money do you want to put down, and how long have you been at your job? And the fact that they're answering those, it's really interesting that we're able to capture that information.
Yeah, yeah. And what's cool about being, another thing that we take great pride in is, you know, guys, you're on here with Gabe and Barry, and they have office hours all the time, and they're teaching all the time, and they're creating new webinars all the time. So we're not just like, oh, here's tech and here's Martech and here are leads and go figure it out, right? So when we have Livia and we've got Laura and we've got like all these Ylopo professors who are running real teams and growing and expanding their teams and their business, working with us, and they're there. They you know, they bleed Ylopo green, and they're there to help you guys, because you have to dig in. It's not,
Yep.
you know, it's like you have to dig in and you got to learn the system and you got to use it, right? But our job is to try to automate as much of it, you know, as possible, and that's kind of the essence of who we are. But our number one sort of mission is all about your success, and that's selfish, right? Because we then become more successful ourselves, right? But it starts with your guys' success, and it pains us, you know, it pains us when someone's not finding that success, which is now why we're adding this final piece where we can actually have a 24/7, you know, take your pulse, thermometer, oximeter, right? You know, on every single client's performance, and are they missing opportunities, right? Or are they capitalizing on all the opportunities? So I'm excited about that.
Oh, I can't wait. That new piece that we haven't discussed today is
next webinar. We got to have a topic for the next webinar.
There you go.
So G, we come full round. If so, folks want to get more information, their best route is
Ylopo.com, request demo, and we will call you. Yep. Or alternatively, you can continue blowing up my email address.
You can Facebook message any of us as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Good
everyone.
stuff.
We actually did this one in pretty short time.
Good.
8 minutes over.
Thanks so much,
Very
G,
impressed.
Gabe, and Barry. We appreciate you guys. Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Have a good day.